Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Mike Zakarian.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. You might be like, Mike, why are you dressed up this morning? Well, here's the thing. I was in a hoodie, and I have New York heat. It got real hot. It got real hot in here real fast, and I'm next to my closet, and this is the only short sleeve thing I got. So we're vacation vibing on the first day back for work for a lot of you. All right, who's here? Sneeps is here. GM to the Matic Auto. We got Stubbs in the house. Borland. Just, always great at taking an L. Good to see you, Borland. Jump shoot, Brag Drip is here. The common man, Chewy Chico's here. Veronica, yes, Snoopaloop. What else you got? Fernandez, you are here as well. Good morning. Hey, I created the stream last night. I was really ahead of myself last night. This is what I was proud of myself last night. I did all my prep work because most of the games had happened except for the last game of the night, which, you know what? I didn't watch a lick of. But I was like, I prepped up. I made the show, made the thumbnail, was ready to go, and then set the thumbnail for last night at 9. So like a real fool, I apologize for anyone that was tuning in at 9. That was my bad. DJ Local's up in the house. Bow Divine's here. Willis is here. Jump shoot. Another Scarface shirt. Here we go, we the people. Bump that announcer volume a touch louder. Is it quiet in here? Is it quiet in here? That's my bad, Top Shot Common Man. Is my volume down? I can't tell if that's a bit or if my volume's down. So let me know if the volume is down. Let me know. I'll make an adjustment. Mike is here. Some pretty good sports yesterday. I got to tell you, love having basketball on during the day. That was great. And it was spread out a little bit. It was just like, that was basically the closest thing to like a real NBA red zone we could get. Although it's no in the intro. My bad. I think what I loved is that like basically every half hour we switched to, I was like, let's watch the fourth quarter of this game. It's great. It was great. I loved it. Oh, you know what? I got a little pause of concern. I noticed TJ McConnell. I noticed Alfred Şengün. I noticed Walker Kessler. A lot of like really went off yesterday. A lot of white guys bringing a lot of energy to MLK Day. And pause for concern. All right, TJ McConnell, relax a little bit. Stan says ready for some cringe takes. Stan, I'm just glad you're back, man. Yeah, with basketball all day, you don't have to burn money until the nighttime. Yeah, I actually did okay yesterday in my. Played a little DFS on the main slate, and I did okay. I barely got there, considering I had a couple of bad takes. I did a late swap onto I forget what the move was, but basically fit in Kessler, Vanderbilt, and Mikal Bridges as my last guys. So I was able to sneak into the cash, even though I faded a couple of the big ones. I'll also say too, if you are in the so rare streets, man, it's going to be a high scoring week. It is going to be a very, very high scoring week. But yeah, let's get into some of the action today. This is what we're going to do. We're going to, go over last night's stuff. We'll look at, there's only 4 games tonight. We'll take a look at that. We'll peek at the standings. I also am going to go over, I subscribed to Steiny Moe's Substack, and he dropped in some potential trade things that he's been hearing on the wire. So I figured we could talk about that a little bit as well. for content, this is the only show on the channel tonight. So watch her work. You should I believe they recorded their spaces from last night talking about the Breonna Stewart hieroglyphic tweet that came out, trying to figure out what the hell happened there. So go check that out if you want some W content. Otherwise, we have the morning show Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday right here, right now at 9 a.m. Tomorrow night, we'll have Shot Tank. I believe it's on TST's channel. We'll also have 89 Cavs. I'm also doing a Spaces with some 2K guys talking about So Rare. So a lot of stuff happening tomorrow. We got to rest those vocals. And then on Thursday, we'll just have the morning show Value Hunting. And on Friday, we'll have the morning show and then Live Before Lock. So a lot of stuff coming at you. I'm going to share a link to the oversubscribe. I won't talk about it till after, but just as a reminder, if you haven't filled that thing out yet, we are we're with the oversubscribe is cooking. Very excited about what's happening over there. Also, listen, what were we at yesterday? We were at 7,424 at the beginning of the day. We're now at 7,464. We are just absolutely cooking. Also, one of the funny things, and then I promise I'll get into basketball. One of the funny things that keeps happening in these YouTube shorts is I think we have like a new version of Damon Fat. And for those that don't know, Damon Fat was a bot account who usually would be like, he'd have a 60% success rate with trolling, much like Stan Loves, where, he'd have a couple really good jabs and then he would do something like offensive and eventually it like got too far. He also, I feel like Damon Fat either had a good Google search engine or something. Found out a lot of personal stuff. Got a little weird towards the end. But anyways, we're now getting a different type of troll in the YouTube shorts, and I kind of respect it, where it's a bunch of different accounts usually, and they just said, hey, look, we have our new Waffle House host. And I had to tell you, that's pretty funny. But I'd also take Waffle House money. Like I'm not opposed to Waffle House money, so I don't understand why that's a dig. Damon Fat is that So Rare style guy? Maybe. But yeah, I like the Waffle House host. I mean, I would love that gig, guys. I would love that gig. So yeah, I know it's trying to be a dig at the work that I'm doing here, but y'all don't understand. I would take Waffle House money. I just take Waffle House. Trevor, if Waffle House isn't too good for Trevor Lawrence, it's not too good for me. You know what I'm saying? And as always, with all trolls, I appreciate the engagement. It's a boost for the algo. All right, let's get into the basketballs, huh? Let's get into the basketballs. Hey, if you haven't liked the stream and subscribed to Team Hold, honestly, I don't know what you're doing, but go ahead and do that because it helps me. Wait, let me catch up here. What else? Damon Vet was like PPE, more like a troll. Yeah, well, yeah. Double hash browns, scattered and smothered. Yeah, exactly. Who doesn't like chicken and waffles? Absolutely. More trolls brings more viewers. Get those comments up, baby. That's what I'm saying. Bring on the comments. Common man. Tasha. Oh, the Nick down. Collision. All right, let's dive into some of the hoops from yesterday. And then we will bounce around the league a little bit. So the first game of the day, I like that we got a 50 piece right away. Right away, Jason Tatum was like, how about I drop 50 on you? Shout out to Charlotte Hornets, continuing to boost everyone's offensive rating, just making them look awesome. So Tatum went for 51, 9, and 5. The second high scorer was Derek White. They were still without Jaylen Brown. This game stayed close for a little bit and then went ham. So Derek White went for 19 and 8. LaMelo Ball 25 and 6, and then a surprising offensive performance from McDaniels, who put up 26. But Celtics continue to win. I know we talked about it yesterday, just continuing to stretch that lead out a little bit, which is nice to see if you are a Bostonian. Bucks and Pacers, dude. So I guess like I feel like I have to take an L on this, and I missed it on the projection. So when we were doing Live Before Lock, I was noticing a lot of the Bucks were projecting really well. Like Pat Connaughton had a nice little boost. Bobby Portis, Drew Holiday, like they were all projecting really well. But Giannis was listed as probable on everything that I was looking at. I was very, and then like 2 minutes before lock happened, they announced Giannis was out. So I apologize for not reading the tea leaves a little bit better. I did see that they were projecting well, but I was like, I don't know. I mean, maybe either the projections are off or they know something that I don't know. But to have Giannis be probable and then it was over was bad. I felt bad. And I guess like, I don't know. I mean, I did say during the show, I was like, we saw over the weekend they listed him as not on the injury report, then changed it to questionable, and then was the last minute uh, ruling out. So anyways, that sucked. That sucked if you were a Giannis freak fan. You haven't mentioned anything about Tommy Brady yet. Are you really New Englander? That game sucked. I don't know what you guys want to like. Even I guess if you're a Cowboys fan, that didn't suck. You're happy about it, right? You're happy. How about them boys? Yeah. I thought I was watching the Manning cast last night, and Teddy Bruschi was like, "Yeah, this team's 8-9. This team sucked all year. I don't know why anyone all of a sudden thought they were going to be good." So yeah, I guess the lore of Tom Brady was, you're like, oh, there's always a chance. But listen, their offensive line is shot. He had no time, and he's also 58. Like, yeah, it would have been like it was only downside for the Cowboys in my opinion. Like, if they lost that game, that would have been really, really bad. Mike said, is there really any defense played nowadays? Feels like more defense is the offense failing. Yeah, Mike, that's interesting. We've talked about this a little bit before. I think it has more to do with like the rule changes that we saw, where it's like really hard to play defense. There's no hand checking. There's no illegal defense. Like, I think that has a lot to do with it. It's like that's what that league wants. The league wants a bunch of points. Cowboys fans had to love all those missed extra points. That was wild. That was pretty wild. I felt bad for him. That reaction from the Mannings after the fourth missed field goal was priceless. It was like Peyton. I'm supposed to hate Peyton and Eli for that matter as a fucking New England kid. So fun. It was so fun watching them freak out. And then like the Manning cast is great. But yeah, anyways, I don't know. I don't really have any takes in that game. It was over immediately. I want to look at my underdog in a little bit. I think I got 6 gauntlets through, which whatever, 6 out of 30. What's that? What percentage is that? 1 out of 5? Is that 20%? I don't know. Teddy Bruschi asked Peyton if he was jealous of how they treated quarterbacks, and he said, yeah, it's the era of quarterbacks. Yeah. Yes, of course. Yeah, they were great together though. That was a lot of fun. My money was not on Teddy Bruschi becoming like a very savvy media man, but he is. He's good. All right, let's get back to the basketball. What are you guys doing? This is the NBA bit. All right, glad we did enjoy the first win in like, what was it, 25 years? And then what do you have next week? The Niners. Good night, sweet prince. You guys are toast. Oh wait, hold on. I think we have a live reply from something here. I want to see something. Hold on. I just got a little notification. Oh no, we do. Did we get one? Let me see. Let me see if it's hold on. Oh no, it's me replying to it. I'm down. What's going on? I'm down. All right, yeah. Sometimes bots aren't as funny as you think they're going to be. You like give them credit at being something funny, but anyways, my main complaint about the NBA bit is we need more NFL talk. Well, yeah, dude. We lost subscribers when I stopped doing the NFL all day show. How did that work out? Anyways, okay. Aaron said at work, wanted to jump on stream to shut out live before lock yesterday. Help me get to 1 unlimited contender, dude. Let's go, Aaron. Let's go, man. All right, let's go. You guys are being a little bratty this morning in the chat. I don't like it. Also, I love this Cowboys bravado you guys have right now. Look at you guys. You guys are gonna get stomped. You guys are gonna get stomped by the Niners. The Niners ain't shit. Niners haven't lost in like 2 months. Brock Purdy, the new Tom Brady. All right, let's keep going. Bucks and Pacers. So the aforementioned TJ McConnell went wild. I'm not talking hockey. You guys, you can't pay me enough to talk hockey. I just don't give a shit. I don't. I'll watch hockey in the playoffs, and that's it. And even then. All right, the Cowboys fans are wild this morning. Did you guys stay up all night doing blow? Like, you guys are jacked up. Purdy hasn't played Micah yet, and Micah's a dad now. Oh man, I love it. All right, let's keep going, you psychos. Yeah, TJ McConnell, 29, 9, and 5 off the bench, 29 points. Turner, who was questionable, dropped 30 and 8. Holiday at 35, 11, and 4, and Bobby Portis at 21 and 11. Yeah, good win for the Bucks. I honestly thought they were going to lose that game. I thought the Bucks were going to lose. I thought the Pacers were hanging tough, had a lead early on. TJ McConnell was out there doing his best Larry Bird impression. He was awesome. He was hitting threes, getting steals. He was doing a little bit of everything. Can we just talk big honey, mellow everyone out? There we go, George. Shout out George. George, we both won yesterday. You hooked me up with the Scotty Barnes, then Draymond went nuts. Cowboy fans are the Knicks fans of the NFL. That is true. That is true. A bunch of unearned confidence. That's different though, because they've actually had dynasties, Eric. They've actually won like consecutive things. Whereas the Knicks won that one time. All right, let's go. Let's keep moving. Bucks desperate need for that W with no Giannis. I'm glad. And Drew Holiday like really took over. He had a great game. I think he put up like 70 so rare points yesterday. He was cooking. So congrats. Cavs and Pels. This one sucks because fuck you twice. Donovan Mitchell, I think he's got a groin strain, and so he's going to be out for a little bit, I would imagine. So if you are a Darius Garland bag holder, I imagine only up. But the Cavs still got the win in that injury. I will say, you know what's kind of funny? The Cavs missed Garland for a stretch of time. They missed Allen for a little bit of time. They missed Mitchell already for a little bit of time. They have continued to just win regardless of who's on the court for them. I guess like the one benefit there is they got Rubio back. So they have a little bit of help there in the guard department. They don't have to be relying on Raul Neto. So that's good news for them. Good W, though. Good W. But yeah, Mitchell got hurt. Garland dropped 30 and 11 last night. Jared Allen with 24 and 11. Jonas Valanciunas with 22 and 13. And then CJ cooled off a little bit with 25 and 4. And by cool off, I just mean he's been red hot with like 30 and 10 the last couple of weeks. And this time he only got 25 points. Still good though. Still good. All right, let's keep going. Raptors Knicks. This was a fun one, man. 123-121 overtime W. RJ Barrett. As time was winding down, I believe it was like off the miss of a free throw. Raptors were up 1. Scotty Barnes goes 1 for 2 from the line, I think, makes it a 2-point game. RJ just runs down and bodies Scotty Barnes. Just bodies him, poster to send it to overtime. And then in overtime is really sloppy. A lot of misses. Just like a lot of fouling. It was weird energy in the overtime. They did have a shot though, like because once again the Raptors went 1 for 2 for the line. Jalen Brunson comes flying down, and I was rooting for double overtime for my bags. And then he missed a 3 at the end. That game wasn't good. It was drunk. Yeah, it was a drunk one. I hit the over on that game and was sweating the OT 1-2K. There you go. Hell yeah, we the people. Last leg of my 2 parlay. There you go. Nice hit. Yeah, it was I don't know. I mean, I was just paying attention to it because I had just scooped that Scotty Barnes rare and so rare. And so I was just rooting for him to get there because it was a slog. He was just like accumulating a couple of stats each quarter, but he ended up getting there. It wasn't too bad. And he's still got 2 more games left. Top Shot Tesla said whole game is very physical. Scotty looking like he's playing a lot more with intensity last few. Yeah, it seems like he's picked up a bunch of defensive, like he's picked up his defensive intensity quite a bit too, because he had been getting cooked lately. Yeah. Okay. I hate this, man. What is going on? So same thing. Raptors are up 1. Fred VanVleet intentionally fouls. Was he studying the Jamal Murray tape? Why does this keep happening? Because like, are people just dumb? Because it sounds like people just aren't paying attention. Is that what's going on? We're intentionally fouling while we're up. What is happening? Yeah, I saw that happen too. And then, of course, the Knicks didn't make the free throws. Yeah, that weird ass game. Fred VanVleet did not know time and score. I would argue you should know that. Not only should you just know that, not only should you be aware of what's going on in the game, there's scoreboards everywhere. There's usually a big one in the middle. You can look up, and especially off of a free throw, like Weisberg was saying, it was off of a free throw, which means the second before you was standing around looking at stuff. How are people not communicating that? And he's the point guard. He's supposed to be the smart one. That was wild. For that to happen with Fred VanVleet and Jamal Murray in back-to-back days, like 18 hours apart. What the hell is going on? Anyways, good win for the Raptors. They needed it. Sorry for your Bing Bong boys. Warriors, man. Warriors got that one got a little hairy for a little bit. I thought the Wizards, I thought the road, we were going to talk about road Warriors again, but Steph got hot in the second half. Warriors won 128-118. Big Draymond had 17, 10, and 6. Steph went for 41. He hit a couple of like stupid step back threes. Jordan Poole started for Klay Thompson. He dropped 32 and 7. The Zanger, Porzingis, had 32 and 5. Monty Morris with a little sneaky double had 17 and 10. And then the Coos had 16 and 11. So good stuff. Spot fixing. Oh my God. Can you imagine if that's what it was? Like Fred VanVleet bet the over. He's like, we need a couple more points, couple more possessions. We the people has some like blackmail on Fred VanVleet, like forcing him to do it. Either that or Freddie's a degenerate gambler. Who knows? Diggs, by the way, 7 is here. Dubs are frauds. They're a mediocre team on the road. Yeah, their bench is like weird. Their whole team's weird. The vibes are weird. I'm not going to be the guy that comes on here and says like the Warriors suck, but because I just don't want to eat that L later. But I don't know. But speaking of sucking, Stan, are you still here? Hawks beat the Heat. Bad vibes. Hawks are beating the Miami Heat, Stan. How does it feel, Stan, to be a Heat fan? Hawks won 121-113. Jimmy Buckets had 34. Bam Bam had 20 and 13. And then again, two Hawks games in a row. DeJounte 28 and 7 and Trey 24 and 8. Weisberg, what was the Klay comment? I think I missed it. Dub should package a young guy for a sturdy veteran, maybe John Collins. I think they need another big, honestly. I guess they need a wing too. I mean, they're really like Kuminga not being around is weirdly like pretty important. Because who are they without right now? Wiggins, Wiseman. I'm going to talk about it in a second, but there's some rumors of Johnny Collins going to Utah. Dude, hell yeah, Quinny Shingoot. Yeah, we're going to talk about him for a second. Didn't Trey have like 400 turnovers? Yeah, I usually let me check that. I usually don't check the turnover column. And I didn't watch too much of this one. Oh, wow. He did have 10. He had 10. Hell yeah, Trey. Get it, son. Love that. Love that 10 turnover energy. Anyways, so Hawks ripped it off a couple in a row. Heat coming back to life after a hot start. Rumors of Kyle Lowry getting moved for D'Lo, which is kind of interesting considering D'Lo's an expiring contract. I know there's some weird vibes with D'Lo over in Minnesota, which is a great transition because let's talk about Utah and Minnesota. The Utah Jazz, they won 126-125 over Minnesota. Walker Kessler Ranger, 20 points, 21 rebounds, 21 boards. Wild stuff. Big double-double. Huge for Walker Kessler. I think if you're the Jazz fans, and I get what Borland's point was earlier, being like, dude, less than double-digit games with 10 boards. Well, first of all, he's only played 40 games, so it's like chill. And they were without Lauri Markkanen. Did Kelly Olynyk play in that game actually too? Or is Kelly still out? Let me check that real quick while I have it up in front of me. Yeah, so no Kelly Olynyk. So the starting five, like I don't know how you lose this game. Starting five of Vando, Kessler, Conley, Clarkson, and Beasley. Like, what the hell? But yeah, he crushed, man. And he like, I mean, if you're the Jazz, you're not going to be winning this year, and you're probably going to make some moves. I imagine Kelly leaves, Beasley leaves, Conley leaves. Like, you're going to be shedding some pieces. But man, he's like, you got to be happy about that for the future. And I mean, like, listen, everyone's going to be like, wouldn't you rather have Walker Kessler this year than Rudy Gobert? No, you still want Rudy Gobert this season, if you're trying to win now. But I mean, the Jazz did win this trade, dude. The Jazz won this trade. I'm not going to go, like, I know everyone's going to be like, this was the worst trade in NBA history. We don't know that yet. It's still a long way to go before we get there. And especially, like, you know, the Wolves have been running a little cold with health, right? Like, Cat's still not back. I feel like we haven't gotten a Cat update in a long time. And then Rudy, like, only played a couple of minutes in that game. Rudy's played like 5 minutes in the last 3 games. He like comes in, does some high fives, hits some microphones, and then gets taken out of the game. So yeah, weird. Stan wanted to go back to this. He says Lowry for Westbrook. Who says no? The Lakers, right? The Lakers. Lakers are still trying to win. Kyle Lowry doesn't help them win. I would imagine they say no. All right, here we go. Weisberg says the Clay comment was basically him saying he wasn't concerned with how bad they are on the road and just have to get to the playoffs, which I get the confidence, but they're literally the worst road record. Yeah. Clay feels feisty this year, man. Clay feels feisty in those press conferences. Whatever, though. Clay could. Well, no, I was about to say Clay could say anything, and I'd still be a Clay fan. But Santa's boys, thank you, underrated Gobert joke. All right, let's keep going. Only a couple games left, and then we'll do some of that trade stuff that I was excited to talk about. Grizz and the Suns. Suns, man, are sucky balls. They're 136-106. Mikal Bridges had 21 and 7. DeAndre Ayton put up 18, and then Ja Morant had 29 and 7, and Desmond Bane had 28 and 6. Grizzlies have now. It's funny because they keep winning. And so do the Nuggets. And so we keep being like, wow, Nuggets and Grizzlies, man, they're in first place. The Grizzlies have won 10 in a row. Like, I feel like everybody was drooling over the Nets when they won a bunch in a row. And maybe because the baseline for the Nets' success is pretty bad. And we just like assume they suck. But the Grizzlies have won 10 in a row. And I was listening to the Athletic podcast, the Athletic NBA podcast yesterday. And, what was the they're like the best. I think they have the best defensive rating either this year or it's in like the last 3 weeks or something. I forget what the caveat was to it, but they like the gap between first and second in defensive rating is the same gap between second and 19th. So they are so much better than everyone else at defense right now. And they've like only played something like 125 minutes with their with like Ja, Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr. Like they barely played any games. So it's pretty wild. Our Backtrip says this is how all trades are valued is based on So Rare scores on one night. So he says Gobert dropped 3 points on So Rare while Walker Kessler Ranger gives us 56. Timberwolves got fleeced. They did get fleeced last night. You're right. Sneeps is saying Clay has been an L after he stopped being affiliated with his grandma's newspaper. Agreed. That was a bad move. By Clay. I still love Clay so much, man. I'm excited to see what Clay does after this. What he does after. I'm excited to see like what his post game is going to be. Santa's boy said, heard the commenter mention that Ja only plays 32 a night. Yeah, that was the other thing. They actually mentioned that in the podcast too, that he's only like they're limiting his minutes quite a bit too. They're just so good. They're so good. I love it. I'm there. Man, the West is fun now. The West is fun up top. And like everyone's being like, wow, there's no clear cut good team in the West. Well, let me present to you the Nuggets and the Grizzlies. We got to stop saying that. I think we are saying there's no, we as in the media, #new media, #Draymond podcast. But I think everyone continues to say that because the teams they assumed that were going to be great, the Phoenix Suns, the Los Angeles Clippers, and the Golden State Warriors have been mid. There we go. We dropped mid into a show. Gen Z, baby. Gen Z on TikTok. But because everybody's assuming that, they're like, oh, yeah, there's no good team in the West. Dude, the Grizzlies have won 10 in a row, the best defense in the league, and they're barely playing their starters. The Nuggets can have like the best player in the league and continue to cook. I disagree. The West is good. It's just not the teams that you thought they were. That's like the opposite of what's this? Dennis Green? Was the coach's name? Dennis Green? Okay. NBA bit is the only media. There we go. Honestly, that was a good. I'm not going to clip that because I am lazy, but that would be like a good clippable thing. That was good. Not scared. Hamey says he's not scared of Memphis. Well, you know what? Unfortunately, Hamey, Dallas isn't going to get to Memphis. All right. Sean Grant in the house said, patted myself on the back when I sold my rare and limited Kesslers when Olynyk came back, made a nice profit and thought he'd reach his salary cap. Worst decision of the season. Well, here's the thing. I think his price will come back down because his cap's going to get so high after these last couple of games. And then Olynyk and Laurie and all those guys are back. His cap will come back down. It'll come back. Board votes say you don't drop mid into a stream ever again. Nah, dude. Nuggets, Grizz are the second best teams in the league record-wise. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I don't know. I feel like that take just happened organically. I didn't have that ready to go. That just kind of like was built up. I feel like that was a pretty good take. Also, the one other thing about Memphis, the whoop that trick, anytime like there's a skirmish that happens, that's like an underrated thing. Like, you know how everyone's like, oh, light the beam, dude, that's sick every time they win. That is like the LeBron version of what the Grizzlies are doing. And what I mean by that is it's corny. It's still cool, but it's in like a corny cool. It's like my dad, it would be like your dad or parent just being like, oh, congrats, son, congrats, daughter, congrats, kiddo, let's light the beam. The Grizzlies, on the other hand, are like, whoop that trick. Like, and then everybody does it together. It's a much cooler version than the Kings. Guys, there's 49 people here right now, and like, God bless every one of you, but I'm happy you get to experience this because we are just rifling it off A+ takes. Eric Fernandez, speaking of F- takes, Jaws corny as fuck. Fernandez, dude, you're a Knicks fan, man. Your whole existence is corny as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Beating up 17-year-olds. No, we talked about in the 89 Cavs. We're actually pro beating 17-year-olds. My biggest concern is why was he hanging out with 17-year-olds? You know? The thing about that take is that there's something valid to the middle of the pack is still a shit show, particularly in the West. Yeah, but that doesn't mean the West isn't good. Anyways, let's keep going. What do we have? One game left. Lake, you know what's not corny? Bing bong. Oh man. Yeah, you know what? He said that's funny because the Knicks have a huge fan base. Let me tell you something right now, Eric. Most things that are super popular, corny as fuck. There you go. How about that? Suck on that, Fernando. Last game of the night, Shingun. Lakers won 140-132. Congrats, Lakers. Really squeaked one out against the Houston Rockets. Shingun at 33 and 15. Jalen Green 23. LeBron James 48, 9 and 8. And Russ had 24 and 5. Yeah, no, I agree though. I am also corny. I'm with you here, and I am popular. I want to be popular. Listen, how many times you're going to get a whoop that trick and a Wicked reference? Huh? In the same show. I think that's Wicked, right? I don't know. Either way, dude, fucking duality of man. Yeah, the Houston defense is pretty bad. Shout out LeBron, though. LeBron, man, dude, just dropping just like a cash 48. Yeah, 48, 9 and 8. I mean, it's monster game from him. Well, Drunk Tree in the house. Let's go, Drunk Tree. LeBron realizing he might be the oldest man in the world versus the Rockets. I know that was pretty funny. He was like talking to Jabari Smith, and he's like, "Oh, I could be your grandpappy." Oh. All right, how to get the rest of the coffee, and let's take a look at the standings as we do every show. Let's see, what do we got here? So Celtics got another W, so they're going to move up they're going to continue to extend the lead. They now have a 4.5 game lead over the Nets and the Bucks. The Bucks won a game, so they moved a little bit closer and a little bit closer now. Sixers Sixers and Cavs only a half game behind them. Knicks still clinging on to the 6th seed with a 1 game lead over the Heat, and then it goes to Pacers, the Hawks like ripping off a couple, 3 in a row now, 5 and 5 in the last 10. They have a 1.5 game lead over the Bulls. It also, like, listen, I know we're very jacked up at the Pacers. Pacers doing great. Pacers are so much fun. Pacers now 2.5 games is falling out of the play-in game. So just keep that in mind. And then we get the Raptors now tied with the Bulls. Same exact record, so they're right there. Wizards falling back. Then you get the Magic, the Pistons, and the Hornets. And then over here, like we were saying, Grizz 10 in a row. Nuggets 6 in a row, 8 and 2 in their last 10. Both have the same record at 30 and 13. Pelicans now 4.5 games behind them. Kings, dude, freaking hosting a home game. How you like me now? Then you get the Mavs, Clips, Warriors, Jazz, Wolves, Blazers. But look at this, baby, the Oklahoma City Thunder, right in there. We like that. I'm telling you, man, Thunder getting in the play-in game. They are going to catch the Jazz and the Blazers. The one caveat is if the Suns figure it out. But I feel like we haven't gotten an update on Booker. Suns, man, 1 and 9 in their last 10. Let's look at their upcoming schedule too. Do the Suns tank for Victor? I think it's in play, man. It's in play if he's not right. If he's not right, it's bad. Did you read the story about Jabari Smith telling Braun before tip-off that Braun played against Jordan's father? Is Braun's first game ever? Wow. No, I didn't see that. That's crazy. That's crazy, D-Rose. All right, let's look at the Suns' upcoming schedule, because if Booker is not back and healthy, like we also haven't seen Paul that often. We haven't seen Campaign in a while. Look, he's got they played Brooklyn on Thursday on TNT. And like obviously they have no KD, so maybe that's in play. But look at this: Brooklyn, Indiana, Memphis, Charlotte, Dallas, San Antonio, Toronto, Atlanta, Boston, Detroit. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In the next 10 games, they're probably favored 3 times, right? Against Charlotte, against San Antonio, and against Detroit. And that's if they, and then again, it goes Atlanta, Indiana, Sacramento, Clippers, OKC, Milwaukee, Charlotte again. If he's not back, the Suns are boned, okay? They are screwed because they look awful right now. New ownership and technically Sarver can still prevent them from making deals at the deadline. I just don't even know what deals that are out there either. All right, here we go. Sean says, I have a take for you. With all the talk of the Wemby stakes, there really hasn't been much tanking. Rockets and Spurs are just bad. Most teams are trying. That's why the standings are so close. Can you name a team which is actually tanking right now? I think the Hornets are actually tanking. I also think the Spurs are actually tanking. The Spurs, you'll just randomly get, Jakob Poeltl's out because he looked at himself in the mirror and he's like, ooh, not today. So you'll see some stuff like that. But I agree with you that I think the Rockets weren't going to allow themselves to be very good, but then they don't have to try and tank because they're just bad on their own. So I agree with you that they are bad, but I would say that the Hornets, the Rockets, and the Spurs are all in tank central. Pistons are just bad. Pistons are just bad. George says, I hate this MVP talk this early. Who is your most improved player? Is what I'm intrigued in, Mike. Few more varied choices. Well, it's going to be stupid, but they're probably going to give it to SGA, which I don't think should count because SGA is already really good. But my guess is it's going to be SGA. Tyrese Halliburton probably too. I mean, he's had, and also shout out Skeets. I think he made that call on Tandy's show like over the summer. And that's played out really well. You also have, Santa's boy saying Lauri Markkanen. Absolutely. Are there any teams that Victor definitely doesn't want to go to? No, actually, he said in an interview multiple times over the last couple of months, being like, he doesn't care. He's just like, any team would be a good fit. So he's really excited to go to any team. Kuzma is another good call too. He said it to what's his name? The dude, Windhorse. He said it to Windhorse. Windhorse was in Pahi recently and was talking to him about it. Ivan says, what do you think will happen to prices and so rares at the end of the season? Do you have any plan for it? Ivan, let's do this. Okay, we can do this right now. So we had a nice conversation with Andrew Laird from So Rare Data. Shout out So Rare Data and Andrew. He came on and we talked a little bit about that because that is something that I had a concern about, like what happens next season when more cards come out, the offseason, all that stuff. He made a great point about the MLB because that's probably the closest comps in football, is played year round, right? With different leagues, you can move around a little bit. But with baseball, what ended up happening is they slowed down the auctions quite a bit, right? So there's barely any auctions, which means that kind of like kept the prices stabilized a little bit because there wasn't a ton of secondary action either. So it actually there wasn't a lot of action happening, but the prices were staying somewhat flat. I imagine it comes down a little bit, and then as we get to the end of the season, some teams get eliminated from the playoffs. And then in the offseason. But then I imagine it ramps back up pretty quickly too, especially because you have free agency, summer league, and then preseason all happens pretty quickly. So I'm not super concerned. I'm also probably the wrong person to ask if we're being honest, because I've said this a couple of times, but I'm not super grinding my account valuation too much because I've just been having fun with the game and I enjoy collecting these guys. If I'm flipping stuff, I sold a couple of things yesterday, but it was to buy other stuff. So I'm probably the wrong person to ask because I'm not grinding that. But I think it's good to think through those things, especially now since it's late. It's mid to late January, right? And all of a sudden we're going to be in the playoffs usually start the first or second week of April. All of a sudden we're going to be in the playoffs, and then you go from 32 teams or 30 teams, no 32 teams, I can't remember, to 20, and then all of a sudden you're down to 16. Like, it's going to happen fast. So good to think through those things, but I'm not too concerned about it right now. All right, let's take a look at the oh man, there's still construction going on outside, and I feel bad for Kelsey, who's like worked an insane amount of hours over the weekend. This is the first day that she gets to sleep in a little bit, and it's 7:30. At least nobody's been boning upstairs too loudly, though. So Weisberg said Victor's rep by a French agent, who reps Nicolas Batum, Rudy Gobert, and Evan Fournier. So he's getting good advice, but he's not leveraging the traditional American media narratives if he was rep by, say, CAA. Do you think? Oh, wait, Borland, let's do a couple more comments here. I just don't feel compelled to worry about my so rare account value. I'm just slowly adding stuff to complete. Yeah, that's to compete. Yeah, honestly, that's what I've been doing too. Josh says, do you think you are positive or negative right now, even though you aren't worried about it? So good question, Josh. I would say anything that I bought through auctions, I'm down on a little bit. The stuff that I was buying that first like week or two, because I was just trying to be able to compete, and there wasn't a ton of there was a lot more scarcity because we were just getting stuff through auctions. All of that stuff I was down a little bit, but not a lot though. I'm down, like I got some of those at the top, but they've all been pretty stable. What I will say though is that there was a bunch of stuff I got like super cheap. Like, yes, I sold my TJ McConnell yesterday after he popped off that I got for like $4 and sold for $29, I think. That Draymond Green rare I got for 40, and I sold that yesterday. Shout out my man George for 90 or whatever it was. Excuse me. So I think, and like with all the rewards too, I don't think people count the rewards, but like you bought, so yeah, maybe you bought Zion for $80 and now it's down at 68, but you've played them for 7 to 10 game weeks. And then all of a sudden you've won like a couple of rewards because of it. And it like cancels it out a little bit. All right, let me catch back up to that. Depends if you're counting the Rockets as a team. That's great. Do we know what has happened historically with the soccer so rare cards? Do they have defined off-season European football? So they do, but it then moves to like, I think what we've seen is like, yeah, maybe when this league ends, some of those prices go down, but then the other leagues go up because people are flipping stuff to get cards from other leagues. Jalen Duren isn't in France with the Pistons because he lost his passport. That's incredible. That's incredible. All right, anybody going to that game this week? That's on Thursday, right? Is that Thursday? All right, let's look at the schedule for tonight. Waiting for tonight. Toronto and Milwaukee. That'll be fun. We'll see if Giannis is back. If you're a Toronto fan, you're probably saying, I hope not. Brooklyn, San Antonio, Portland, Denver, and then Philly, Clippers. I wish the Denver-Portland game was the second TNT game. But Toronto, Milwaukee on TNT should be kind of fun. That'll be a good one. So that's our action for tonight. The other thing I wanted to talk about, I mentioned Steiny Mo, Mark Stein. I subscribed to his Substack, and he put out a couple of trade things that I'm just gonna share with you guys, and because I found some of it interesting. And let me know your takes in the chat as I go through this. Actually, let's do a mental health check because I got to get a couple of coughs out and a sip of water. Let's go to the OG one. Let's do the OG one. Where's that at, girl? We can't go down this road. We can't talk about like how you need to have had sex in order to have responsibility. I just think it changes you, I think it changes you. All right, let's keep cooking, baby. Let's keep cooking. So I'm going to look at some of the Steiny Moan stuff. All right, so, Tesla's also saying weird line on the Raps Bucks right now. Yeah, maybe Giannis sits again tonight. Honestly, because I'm a Pat Connaughton guy, I hope he sits. All right, here we go. So this was I don't even know. This behind the paywall. Anyways, go sign up for Stein's thing. All right, here we go. The Monday musings. The Clippers league sources saying they are exploring trade opportunities to shore up the bigs. So they still want Zubats, of course, but maybe to get a little bit more big help. There are also some interest in Mike Conley Jr. as it was announced John Wall's going to miss a couple of weeks. So they're looking at both Conley and trying to get another big. I don't know what bigs are out there right now outside of Collins, and I don't know if that makes the most sense. And just to remind you of like where the Clippers are at right now, they are currently in the 6th seed, but are 8 games out of first, and honestly only 2 games out of like 11th. So that's something to pay attention to. As part of the Cavaliers, the Cavs' ongoing search for wing upgrades, trying to upgrade that Okoro spot. They said they've been interested in a 3-way Nice. That would land Atlanta's John Collins to Utah. So Collins goes to Utah. Beasley goes to Cleveland. And then Atlanta probably gets some garbage. The Jazz will have well chronicled interest in John Collins, but to this point have given the Hawks pause by seeking additional draft compensation for taking Collins, who still has 3 seasons left and 125 million on that contract. Karis LeVert's 18 million expiring contract is the Cavs' most obvious trade chip. So there you go. So the Cavs going to make a move for a wing at some point. And then on the Kuzma front, the Wizards keep saying, hey, dude, we're not moving Kuz. There's not a chance we're moving Kuz. But can't tell if they're playing possum or not because they're like there's real talk out there that there's no chance in hell Kuz comes back and signs with the Wizards. So if that's the case, you do want to get something for him. And the second to last one is D'Lo. I mentioned this one earlier about D'Lo, who's making 31 million on an expiring, trading for. So basically, the Heat sending over Kyle Lowry, and then the Heat getting D'Lo in return. Minnesota, by all indications, is not interested in that sort of swap, but there's just been talk about it. And then with January 15th coming and going, here are some guys that now can officially get traded. So DeAndre Ayton can be moved. Mo Bamba, Batum, Bradley Beal, Chris Boucher, Vlatko Canchar, Nick Claxton, Amir Coffey, Dwayne Dedman, Lou Dort, the Dort report, Tyus Jones, Levine. Levine and Ayton are really the only ones that I think kind of matter at this point. Kevon Looney, Cody Martin, Yusuf Nurkic, which Nurk I could see getting moved if the Blazers start saying we out. Depot, which I don't think Depot gets moved. He's like too important to that Heat team now. Bobby Portis, who won't get moved. Mitchell Robinson, Anthony Simon, and Jayshawn Derulo Tate. So there we go. That's what we got for out there. Let's see what we people saying hi to Bandy. Going to the Nets-Lakers game on the 30th. Wanted a healthy Nets squad versus a healthy Lakers squad. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. Clips are hunting for Turner. Yeah, Miles Turner. That's kind of interesting. I mean, the Clippers have so many dudes, right? They have pieces to do it. For those who haven't seen Mike's it's still Mike's SY. It's still wild how many mental checks videos he has. Hasn't seen Mike's StreamYard. Yeah, we get a bunch of them. I was like, what is SY? Yeah, I'll fire through some more today. Mason Plumlee can provide a solid 20 off the bench. Yeah, Plumlee's, man, please God, Hornets trade Plumlee. Send Plum Dog to a team so that Mark Williams can thrive. What else we got? JaVale McGee is available. Nice try. Nerlens Noel has been on ice most of the season for the Pistons, but yeah, he has looked good. He has looked good in the time that Jalen Duren and Beef Stew has missed. Bandy's ready to be taken out. Actually, he's going to jump off that ottoman in a second and be like, bro, let's go. January 15th is the initial date for the guys who signed late. Yeah, kind of like Ayton and the list that I just went over. Anyway, so that's some of the trade stuff. I'm excited for that. Trade deadline is coming soon. I also wanted to look at what was the other thing? I'll pull up So Rare. We can look at So Rare for a second, and then we'll wrap up. I can't believe we're already 47 minutes into this bad boy. Casual Cavs fan, Beasley rumor doesn't get me hyped. Is it really that much better than LeVert? Yeah, I think so. LeVert is a really LeVert can get hot for sure and like win you a game, but I feel like he can be like a zero a bunch of times. Beasley's like one of the best 3-point shooters in the league right now, and like legit is in 6-man conversations. So Beasley is an immediate upgrade to your bench or like your wing depth for sure. All right, let's see. What do I have live here? Oh, I forgot I have like some So Rare dollars right now. Yeah, Beasley can chuck, baby. Beasley can chuck it. All right, let's see what we got. Whoa, my screen is tweaking. Let's see what we got live here. Mental health check references. Have I missed some good rants today? Talk about how silly the Top Shot Pack challenges are. Dude, Paul, I haven't even looked at the challenges. I haven't looked at the challenges. I haven't. I don't care. Russ's 1 triple-double record from the all-time. Wow, that's pretty impressive. All right, let's see. This is what we got. Cooking. Who cares? I don't care about my comments. Although Shengun put up 77. All right, so my rare contender, we've got Scotty Barnes put up 51. I'm hoping Fred or Siakam sits one of these two, and Scotty Barnes can just cook. Trey Murphy got 29, which is fine. Connaughton 25, which is fine. We still got Muscala in Utah to go. Utah's got 2 games too, which was nice. So that's my rare contender. My limited champion, I actually think. My limited champion, I think, actually might have a shot here. Although there were so many high scorers, right? That's not. Yeah, I wanted to look at my team. Excuse me. So I still get the bonus. Barnes with the 48, right? I got Mann and Christian Wood left, but McConnell dropped that 64. That was kind of nice. That was kind of nice. Need Siakam's. Oh, you need Scotty's 60. Yeah, we do need Scotty's 60. Good call on the Barnes pickup yesterday. Honestly, Josh, it was looking pretty bad considering Draymond went for 17, 10, and 6 in that Warriors game, and Barnes got off to such a slow start. I was feeling like such a fish, but he seems okay. And then my limited contender was fine. What's going on here? Oh, upcoming. That's why. My limited contender was fine. So it's got now Matherin was pretty underperformed with 16, Kuz with 35, Gabe Vincent there. Have Walker, Kessler, McConnell, Luka. Oh, there we go. That's going to be that's live. Question: what happened to Dwayne Washington yesterday? I'm pretty sure it's because Landry Shamet face is back, right? That's what I was saying in live before locked. You got to get off of that. Let me check here. Let me check the box score to see if anything sticks out. Yeah, so he didn't play at all. Right, coach's decision. Yeah, so this is what they did, right? So Shamet comes back. That's 26 minutes gone, right? 26 minutes gone. Okogie had only played 9 minutes, so it's a little bit surprising, but they just went to Saban Lee instead. Saban Lee, a deep threat's favorite player, had 28 minutes, and Damian Lee had 26. But I was nervous about Shamet because of that. I mean, I was nervous about Dwayne Washington because of Shamet face. Barnes is such a slow starter. Yeah. He came on strong, finished strong though. Shaman shouldn't have affected him. Weird. Yeah, it was the Saban Lee, I guess. It was more of Saban Lee. The Saban Lee stuff is weird. I got a Grayson Allen limited as a reward, and it just made me feel dirty. Yeah, just hope he goes off. You can sell him. A couple things. I'm going to share the team. I'm going to just talk about the oversubscribe here just for a second. I know I've talked about this probably ad nauseum at this point. But if you haven't taken a look at this, please do. Just even if it's something you're interested in, awesome. And if it's not, totally understand. But the TLDR, we are instead of doing a Patreon, you can invest a one-time in Team Hold. It's a one-time thing, a minimum of 50. And then what'll happen is over the next 3 to 5 years, all of that will be ironed out before you actually donate. This is just getting in or invest. This is just getting interest. But instead of just, you pay $5, you get a t-shirt, $5 a month, you get a t-shirt and a high five every month. You instead have an opportunity to make money as we make money. And then on top of that, we'll also do some in real life stuff for you guys too. So we'll have like an investors meeting in Vegas, and we'll do some like private content as well, just for you guys. But really the gist of it is you have an opportunity to grow with us as we are putting some money into our short form content, hiring an editor and a graphics designer. It also is going to help us do some more in real life live stuff at different games. So if you haven't checked it out yet, again, this is just gathering interest in what you'd be interested in. It takes like 2 seconds to you click I'm interested and you answer one other thing. That's it. It's 2 clicks and you're done. We are going to announce like the formal stuff and actually get your money in the next like couple of weeks. But this is just to get a better feel with the company. One other thing I forgot to mention about the company oversubscribe is I always just talk about like what's in it for you. But also a good thing that helps with me is they set me up with some people in the industry. We'll get like a mentor, some bigger creators. They also hook me up with a brand manager who is going to help us get that money from like sponsorships, like coffee and stuff like that. So it's good things all around. It's very exciting. The response has been overwhelming so far. And like truly from deep down here, I appreciate everyone that's taken the time to fill it out. And really the response has been overwhelming and is almost brought tears to my eyes. So I appreciate everyone that is taking the time to fill it out and, believe in the stuff that we're doing here. And I mean, we're cooking. It's weird to be confident in this, but we are cooking. All right. Hoping Jokic sits on a back-to-back, need Jamal Murray to get to 60. I think they just rested him. I'd be surprised if he does. No Illuminati yet. If Ingles plays, my rare champ has a shot because Garland went off. Randall, McCollum, and Reed were all solid, but have a chance to improve. Yeah, that is solid. Good stuff, though. And also, honestly, Josh, for you, I hope Jokic sits, okay? I hope he sits. All right, gang, we are going to call it there. I hope everybody has a great rest of the day. Thanks for being here today. If you are, check out the oversubscribe link that I shared. It's also pinned in the chat. Make sure you're in the Discord, all that stuff. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow morning. We're back at 9 a.m. with the morning show. We also have a Spaces tomorrow to check out. That's going to be strictly so rare. So a lot of stuff a little taste today, a lot of stuff tomorrow. And congrats to the 60 plus that were here today. Because honestly, the show is fire. We out.